If you attend one virtual national registration rally and drive all year, this is the one.
Phone banks,
Social storming,
voter drive training.
it's like Burning Man.
Minus the mud.
So, to save our country,
Save the date.
National Voter Registration Day, Tuesday, September 19th.
Be there.
All right. I cannot be the only person who was singing along to that mix. Thank you, Jeff, for that. I always look forward to the countdown videos at our events. Hey, welcome everybody and happy National Voter Registration Day. Today we are going to be doing a rally, hearing from inspiring partners and candidate speakers. And we are also going to be actually registering Democrats. So it's a rally and a drive, both in one place. If you are new to Zoom, pull up that chat button. It should be an option at the bottom, or it's under the more options at the bottom. Pull that up so you can see everything that's being posted in the chat. There's going to be a lot of links that get dropped there. You don't want to miss those. It's also a good idea to make your screen full screen so you can see the speakers well. Anyway, so in about 35 minutes, we're going to start registering Democrats in a whole bunch of ways. So in the chat, there's going to be a catalog where there's going to be phone banking, text arcades, in-person voter drive training, social media storms, postcarding, and behind the scenes where you're going to hear about Blue Voter Guide and also help test a new version of it. So that's exciting. Text arcades, I want to tell you about that. We have one going into Ohio and another one into Virginia. Text arcades are inspired by our postcarders. Postcarders tend to buy postcards and they buy stamps, and they help get those messages out. A text arcade, you donate 25 bucks, you send 1,400 texts. It's 25 bucks pays for the cost to send those texts, and then donors pick up the rest. We do subsidize it. It's not covered completely by your donation, but it helps a lot. It's just like buying stamps and postcards if you're postcarding, but it's a whole lot cheaper. Do you know that if you sent 1,400 postcards, it would cost you about 1,300 bucks? So if 25 bucks sounds appealing to you, just click the text arcade link in the chat right now so that we can get you into the system while our speakers are speaking. Okay. I want to toss this over to our founder and executive director, Jason Berlin, to tell you about Field Team 6.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here on National Voter Registration Day, which is our Mardi Gras. This is a wonderful crowd. We're so thrilled to be holding this event with all these amazing partners and speakers. So yes, I'm Jason Berlin, founder of Field Team 6. Our mission is register Democrats, save the world. That's exactly what we do, of course, with the help of every single partner and volunteer and donor. And I want to wish you all a happy National Voter Registration Day and make an announcement. We are officially declaring 2023, the whole year, not just a month, voter registration year. The whole year. Also 2024. Also every year from now on. Persistence is the greatest engine of change. A little at a time adds up to a mountain of new Democrats by elections. And so this is something that we do all year, every year. And are very proud of that. There was a huge reason that Field Team 6 was started. We also are very proud to be uniquely the organization that does partisan voter registration in targeted states nationwide, all year, every year. Just one fact to highlight the importance of registering Democrats. We equate electoral activism with GOTV, or getting out the vote. Getting out the vote is crucially important, as we all know, and you can't get out that vote if those voters don't exist to begin with. So this stat highlights that. 85% of registered voters vote in a presidential election. That's not the entire populace, but it's 85% of registered voters. That means the simple act of registration turns people into super voters. And that is a crucial key to winning elections. So you're here because you know that the country is in trouble and you want to help. The good news is you can, and you're just in time. So whether you're here because of any one of the complex problems that face us, whether it's the overturning of abortion rights, or because LGBTQ plus rights are at risk, or because of gun violence or the climate crisis, the good news is there's a simple solution to all these complex problems, and that is registering more Democrats to vote, especially in swing states and districts where just a few voters can decide national elections. Since 2019, with the help of our grassroots donors, all our volunteers, and all our partner organizations, we've been able to help register 2.6 million Democratic voters, the vast majority in swing states and districts. Our goal is to help register 3 million more by 24 and take back the House, save the Senate, and defend the White House and defend our democracy itself. We register Democrats in all different ways, in person and digitally, and that's what you're about to learn how to do and actually do later in about 30 minutes or so after the rally. But first, I'm so excited to introduce you to the first of our wonderful partners today, Run for Something. Craig Valdez currently serves as the Senior Political Manager at Run for Something, a national organization that recruits and supports young, diverse progressives running for local office. In his role, Craig cultivates national political partnerships in service of Run for Something's mission and vision. As the proud son of immigrant parents from the Philippines, Craig witnessed firsthand the injustices and systemic barriers his family faced, propelling him to pursue a career in advocacy work. Craig remains a steadfast activist. Steadfast activist for the Southern Nevada Asian American and Pacific Islander community, with a deep commitment to uplifting marginalized groups all across the country. So let's hear from Run for Something's Senior Political Manager, Craig Valdez.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. First and foremost, happy National Voter Registration Day. I want to thank Dale, Jason, and the Field Team 6 crew for inviting Run for Something to participate in today's event and rally. And I want to thank all of you for being here and for doing the hard work of protecting and invigorating our democracy. As you all know, and as I was just introduced, my name is Craig Valdez, pronouns he, him, based out of Las Vegas, Nevada, and here on behalf of Run for Something. And for those of you who don't know, from the planning stages to after an election, Run for Something recruits and supports passionate, diverse, young progressives running for local office. And we recruit problem-solving young people to run for state and local elected offices like school boards, city council, and state legislature, which results in better policies right away and a better pipeline of federal and statewide candidates in the future. There are a couple of ways we support folks. We support folks with training. We support folks with mentorship, resources, endorsements, and a strong community of other candidates. Now, the candidates endorsed by Run for Something represent the future leaders of our nation. So since launching in 2017, Run for Something has recruited over 135,000 young people who want to run for office. Over half of our endorsed candidates identify as women or non-binary and people of color, with more than 20% identifying as LGBTQIA+. All candidates endorsed by Run for Something are under the age of 40. Now, this is important. Important decisions are made at the local level. Core services like police and fire departments, transportation, housing, libraries, drinking water, public schools, and elections. I mean, these are all important decisions made at the local level. A project by the Portland State University funded by the Knight Foundation in 2015 that looked at municipal elections found that in 20 of America's 30 largest cities, voter turnout for electing community leaders like mayors and city councilors was less than 15%. And this contributes to races that end up going uncontested with the same old people in charge. But I know, and you know, that all elections matter. And so if we desire to change our communities for the better, We have to usher in fresh faces into public office and support progressive candidates on the campaign trail and the ballot box. We need folks like you to vote, and we need folks like you to register other people to vote, especially in states like Ohio and Virginia, where our reproductive freedoms as well as democracy itself are at stake. With so much on the line, as you all know, every vote and every voter counts. So if you want to run for office, we can help. Sign up with Run for Something by visiting runforwhat.net. And I'll conclude by saying thank you for joining us today, for welcoming us, and for being a part of this monumental endeavor to make the world a better place. So Jason, I'll hand it back to you. Thank you.
Amazing.
Actually, I'm going to take it back.
Yeah, go ahead. It's just such amazing work.
Such amazing work. And by the way, Run for Something is represented by 2 candidates at today's event. So you're going to hear from them in just a second. But first, Demcast, whose mission is to cultivate, amplify, and maximize the impact of grassroots digital media, bolstering blue electoral and policy victories all across America, is here as a partner for this event. Let's please meet Jamie Carter, Director of Partnerships. Welcome, Jamie.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me. Been working with Phil Team 6 since about the time we both launched back in 2017. You know, our mission at Demcast is to empower grassroots activists to use their social media accounts to spread pro-blue messaging and to combat disinformation out on the web. And I don't know if you guys have heard this, but today the House Democrats all signed on and reintroduced the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. So it is a very fitting day for them to reintroduce that. So because this is what we do, shocking, we have a social media toolkit. So please feel free to share all of the great work that the Democrats are doing. You know, this election is so important, and the amount of disinformation that is out there right now is overwhelming. And it doesn't matter what platform you're on, if you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, just spending 5 minutes a day, you can help counter that and really get the message out of what Democrats are doing for the people and spreading important information on how to register to vote, you know, who's running for office, all of those things that are so critical. And a couple of times a week, we update our website with messaging guidance on the latest issues. And so you can find all of our social media toolkits there, latest messaging guidance. And so we'll obviously be doing a lot on the sham investigations into Biden on this, what Biden economics are doing, and of course, registering to vote. So thank you guys all so much for your work, and so excited to again partner with Phil Team 6 because y'all are amazing.
Back at you. Your amplification as it may be the biggest digital megaphone in the progressive movement is it helps us every day. I mean, thank you so much for what you do. All right, so on to our next partner. This is an embarrassment of riches. As the activist arm of the Lincoln Project, the union is now over 65,000 volunteers strong, and the mission of the union is to save our democracy from authoritarianism. Jacqueline Westman is a driven super organizer whose 10 plus years of organizing includes serving as field organizer for the Democratic Party of Georgia, helping elect 2 Democratic senators there. I think you know their names. And being communications director for Beto O'Rourke's Powered by People, among other things. For more information about all of our partner organizations, by the way, please check out their website, and we will be dropping those links in the chat as we go. So now please welcome Jacqueline Westman, organizing director of the national powerhouse known as the Union. You're the best, Jacqueline.
Thank you, Jason, for that lovely intro. And hello, Democracy Defenders. Like Jason said, my name is Jacqueline Westman, and I am the organizing director of the Union. I am very excited to be here today with y'all on National Voter Registration Day. I woke up just like full of energy and have not stopped smiling and like posting and sharing and just trying to like text everyone to just take action. But also just want to thank Field Team 6, Run for Something, DemCast, Grassroots HQ, Sister District. A lot of these organizations are our partners, and all of the volunteers who are helping behind the scenes. You guys are amazing, and it's such an honor to be here. For those unfamiliar with the union, we are a single issue grassroots coalition of people, partners, and actions aligned to defend our democracy. So we have 65,000 members nationwide, and we partner with over 100 pro-democracy organizations too. So helping someone register to vote is the first initial step towards fostering civic engagement. So the work that we're doing today is probably the single most productive pro-democracy action you can take. And at the union, we are committed to doing everything that we can to elect pro-democracy candidates up and down the ballot who will help save our country. And so our mission is to really funnel pro-democracy actions to the hands of our volunteers and activate these folks to take action and to get out and vote and to get others to vote and leverage the power they have as voters. So I will drop my contact info into the chat, and just very inspired by you all and can't thank you enough for the incredibly hard work that you do daily, because trust me, if this was easy, none of us would be doing this. So thank you. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to connect with some voters in Ohio and Virginia. So let's do this.
Terrific. Thank you, Jacqueline. And thank you to your giant Rolodex of all those 65,000 of the union volunteers. I know that I reach out to you every now and again with a specific request for somebody, and you always come through. So thank you so much for that. Next up, we have our amazing partners at the Grassroots Democrats HQ, who I believe have called every single person in America at least once and are partnering on a whole bunch of campus in-person voter registration events with us right now. Could not be more grateful. Let's hear from their executive director, Force of Nature, Tamara Levinson.
Hello, everyone. This is Tamara Melzer Levinson. Oh, let's see. I have to unmute myself. Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Fantastic. Hi, this is Tamara Melzer Levinson, Executive Director for the Grassroots Democrats HQ. I'm putting up on the screen because I think that better than looking at my face is pictures of what it is that we're doing. I have to tell you, I've been partnering with Field Team 6 since the very beginning when you started, Jason, I believe in 2019, which has been incredible. The Grassroots Democrats HQ has been working as well since 2018. We work to be electing Democrats to be flipping the House, holding on to the Senate, holding on to the White House, and we work on key state legislatures as well. Just back in 2022, we made 2.3 million phone calls, knocked 114,000 doors. That was when we were in the middle of the pandemic, 7.8 million text and 490,000 postcards. Just this year, electing Democrats everywhere, we're very proud to have done 637,000 phone calls already. We've sent 62,000 postcards, registered 500 voters, and knocked on 1,700 doors. When we are looking at where we're going, want to let you know that our focus for Congress is here in California, and we will be looking and honing this a little bit further down after we get past primary. We will also be looking into 2024 for the Senate races, working in Nevada, Arizona, Montana, Texas, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. We are so proud that during National Voter Registration Day today, we were at 12 locations in 5 different districts. We were at 7 colleges, 5 high schools, and the partnerships that we were doing with grassroots groups, Democratic Central Committees, Field Team 6 has been absolutely amazing. We would love to join with you to be joining our affiliate organizations. I'll be putting into the chat how you can join us as an affiliate organization where we can partner and uplift each other, as well as join as a volunteer. We hope that you'll be coming and joining us to be doing the phone banking, canvassing, registering voters, writing postcards. And we do have leadership roles for shift leaders in all of these roles as well. Please do stay in touch with us, Grassroots Dem HQ. I will drop this in the chat. I just want to thank you all so much. Together, we are stronger. Right now, between now and November, we need to be flipping the House of Delegates in Virginia. We need to be pouring our volunteers into Ohio. And as Jason said, this is a national emergency for us to be registering voters. Looking forward to doing that with all of you. Thank you.
Tamara, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone at Grassroots Democrats HQ for our ongoing partnership and for those 12 voter drives today in one day. That is beautiful. Oh my God, that makes me so happy. We are super honored to have with us right now the president of the Georgia chapter of the National Organization for Women, Triana Arnold James. And yes, our focus today is on Ohio and Virginia, but we are absolutely focused on Georgia and 11 other target states for 24. And Field Team 6 can help you in whatever state you are in. We're here to help. Contact us at partnerships@fieldteam6.org if you want to partner up. And we can set up phone banks, postcarding, text banks for free to register Democrats in your state, district, wherever you like. Just a plug for partnerships. Okay, and now Triana Arnold James, president of Georgia Now. Now is the largest organization of feminist grassroots activists in the nation. Now takes action to promote feminist ideals, eliminate discrimination, and achieve equal rights for all women and girls. And Triana is not only a tireless political advocate, she's also a mother and U.S. Army veteran who ran for lieutenant governor in 2018 and continues to do all she can to make positive change in Georgia. So please welcome the amazing Triana Arnold James.
Woohoo! Thank you, Jason. Thank you for that awesome introduction as usual. But this is a rally. So I have this thing called, when I start out at a rally, I'm like, this is what democracy looks like. And then you all say, show me what democracy looks like. So I always do that. And I love, because when we gather, together, united, we can never be defeated. So this is what democracy looks like. And Jason, you can say it back. Show me what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
Thank you. But as you said, I'm Triana Arnold James. I'm the president of Georgia Now. I also am the executive board member representing the Southern District, which is the second largest district in the country for the National Organization for Women. And I am also the national chair for the Committee on Global Feminism. So as I always tell everybody, I have 3 jobs. You can call me Jamaican, it's fine. But I'm so excited. Just a little bit about Now. We fight for racial justice. We believe that everyone need to be held accountable. We believe that no one should utilize their badge and their gun to threaten or disproportionate other people because of the color of their skin. We fight for economic justice, equal pay for equal work. But also, it's equal pay for equal worth. We need to be paid what we're worth. Ending violence against women. Even though it was reauthorized in 2022, we believe that the boyfriend loophole needs to be put back in. That means if a boyfriend is convicted of domestic violence, he can still go buy a gun as of the law stands right now. And that is not acceptable. So we are working tirelessly to make sure that the boyfriend loophole is put back in before it's reauthorized in 2027. And then we also fight for reproductive. We believe it's my body, my choice, and whatever decision I make is between me, my family, and my God. We fight for the LGBTQ plus community because all of these trans bans, these abortion bans is happening across the state. It's mostly happening in the Southern District, and it's got to stop. We believe that love is love, no matter what, no matter who you want to love, how you want to love is love. Let's see. We also fight for constitutional equality. Women, as of now, are still not in the Constitution. Even though we've met the threshold for the 38 states, we're still not in the Constitution. So we need President Biden to codify the Equal Rights Amendment, which brings us to why I'm here today. I know Georgia is always on everybody's mind. It's always on my mind, which I love. I was just on a call and they played Ray Charles, Georgia on my mind. And I was like, you know what? That is it. That is it. But all of these are the reasons why we support we have this campaign called Know Before You Go Vote campaign, where we actually print out people's ballots. Right then and there, we have this portable printer, and we print out their ballots because we want them to be educated. We want them to know before they go vote. This is so critical. This year is so critical. It's about education. Next year is critical because it's a presidential election. However, this year is critical because we won't have to do so much work in educating people about voting. So we're doing the educating now, and then next year, you know, we take people to the polls. And so, but today we hit colleges and high schools. We also been hitting barbershops and beauty salons, especially on the weekend. You know, we go there, you know, everybody wants to look good, you know, and everything, but we sit down, we go and we give out information. And hey, if you're not registered to vote, this is how you register to vote. And then we also work with those that are prior convicted felons, you know, because some people feel like, hey, I'm a convicted felon, I can't vote. Well, that's not true. Your rights have been restored. If you're off paper, then your rights have been restored. So these are things that we go around and do, especially today. And I'm so excited about the Democrats introducing the Voting Rights Act. I'm so excited to be here with you all and partner with y'all. We're going to continue this fight because the people united will never be defeated. So let's keep going. Let's keep doing what we're doing. And let's rally. Let's tell somebody because it's going to take all of us in order for us to get this country back on track. Love you all. Thank you.
Oh, love you so much. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Yes, thank you so much, Shawna. So next, we're going to go to Delegate, she's not delegate, Delegate Danica Roem, an award-winning former journalist who made history in 2018 as a Run for Something and Sister District endorsed candidate, two partners that are here with us today, when she became the first openly trans person elected to win election and serve not only in Virginia's General Assembly, but in any U.S. state legislature. Thank you for being a trailblazer and an inspiration. She has fought to expand Virginia's Medicaid program and has been a fiery fighter for LGBTQ+ rights. She represents Virginia's 13th House of Delegates and is currently running for Virginia's State Senate to represent the 30th District. Please welcome Delegate Danica Roem.
Well, thank you so much, Dale. Thank you so much to everyone. Field Team 6 and Tamara, love you over at Grassroots Dems HQ. So good to see you as well. Oh, it's so good to see so many amazing people who are doing what it takes to win this November 7th. And folks, early voting begins this Friday. This Friday is the first day of early voting here in Virginia, and we are already contacting all those people who we spent all summer IDing as them telling us that they were going to be a #1 vote, that they were going to vote early, that they were on board. Well, I want to tell you all of you who did all your postcarding for us, you know what we slapped a bunch of early vote stickers on them telling people when and where to go vote, and those are going out the door and those are going in people's mailboxes, and I've already been hearing from people who've been receiving them. So thank you. Let's keep it up, because even though Friday is the first day of early voting, it is not the last day. That it goes all the way until November 4th. And so for those who don't know, again, my name is Danica Roem. I'm grateful to serve the people of the city of Manassas Park in the western Prince William County portions of Haymarket, Gainesville, my lifelong home of Virginia. And in 2017, as Dale was mentioning, I became the first out and seated trans state legislator in United States history when I defeated the self-described chief homophobe of Virginia, who had been in office for 13 terms over 26 years, so that we could actually have someone in office who would prioritize taking care of the day-to-day quality of life issues that the people of Western Prince William Manassas need. And what's happened since then? Well, not only did I earn re-election in 2019 and 2021, we've now passed 41 of my bills into law, all with bipartisan support, including 12 to feed hungry kids. I've secured $33 million to fulfill my promises of fixing Route 28 and fixing Rollins Ford Road. By the way, 28's under construction right now. We got a lot more coming. And Medicaid expansion that I promised to vote for in 2017, and then I did on May 30th, 2018, has now provided health insurance for 730,000 Virginians across the Commonwealth, including more than 33,000 people here in Greater Prince William. And I voted to raise teacher pay, count it, not 1, 2, 3, but 4 times now. I voted to raise the standard deduction 3 times now. I have been keeping my promises while also looking out for the most vulnerable Virginians, which is why I've been a leader on reforming the adult guardianship system here in Virginia so we can take care of the most vulnerable people in Virginia. We got the job done. And I heard earlier someone talking about the Equal Rights Amendment. Thank you for doing that, because I just so happened to have the text of the Equal Rights Amendment tattooed on my arm that I got done the day before I voted for it. And it says, equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Eventually, I'm going to have a little Virginia drawn right here too, because I think that'd be kind of cool. So what is at stake? Look, we all know on the national level here. I want to really break this down for some folks. What the state legislature in Mississippi did affected abortion access nationwide. Don't ever think that what happens in a state legislature in a state that's not yours won't one day affect you. Yes, it does. This is a United States for a reason. And this means that we've got to play to win big time. In Virginia this fall, if Republicans get a trifecta, you better believe that will set the table for them to go all in to flip the 10th and the 7th congressional districts here and come 2024 and try to lay stake to all of our 13 electoral votes as well. We absolutely have to make sure that we're protecting voting rights, let alone everything else when we are in this race. If you care about the environment, this is a huge differential between the Democratic candidates and the Republican candidates. In my race, I have earned 100% ratings from the Sierra Club and League Conservation Voters all 6 years I've been in office. I've been endorsed by Climate Cabinet, by the Sierra Club, by League Conservation Voters. And I actually voted for the Clean Cars bill that the other side has falsely claimed will bankrupt your failings and force you to buy a $60,000 EV, all of which is complete bunk. And we know that. We are the party that is actually going to tell you, hey, these are what the facts of these bills actually mean. And this is how it affects you at home. Now, for all the work that you're doing of making sure that my folks here are having their day-to-day quality of life needs taken care of, whether it's transportation one day, whether it's making sure that they've got healthcare another day, whether it's making sure that we're dealing with cost of living, and whether it's, by the way, not singling out and stigmatizing trans kids, but actually telling you you're welcomed here because of who you are, not despite it, and we will never hurt you, even though in my district alone, the Republicans have now sent 5 anti-trans mailers as if they have learned nothing from the 2017, 2019, and 2021 campaigns. Well, just because they have more money behind it, if they think that's going to result in a different outcome, it will not. We will defeat them this November 7th. I am not going to be the person who tells you, oh my God, the sky is falling, and unless you rush $3 to me right now, everything's going to be terrible, blah, blah, blah. Democrats, when we inspire people to vote, when we inspire people to get involved in our campaigns, I'm the front runner for this race, even as closely contested as it is, because this is my lifelong home community, because of 6 years of demonstrated excellence in community service. And just to put the nice fine point on this, I know the issues inside and out affecting my lifelong home community. And my ask for you all is to believe in that message, to believe in what we are doing here to make our Virginia a more inclusive Commonwealth. So no matter what you look like, where you come from, how you worship, if you do, or who you love, you are welcome, celebrated, respected, and protected here because of who you are, not despite it, and not for what discriminatory politicians tell you you're supposed to be. You be you better than anyone else ever could, because you're the only one who ever can. We're the only campaign in this race that has that message, and I need your help to make sure that we bring that to the doors. And speaking of which, I am going to go and knock doors right now. I got about 2 hours before dark, so it is time for us to go and do what it takes to win big this November 7th, and that starts by winning this Friday on the first day of early voting. So please continue to donate. Please continue to make phone calls. Please continue to send those text messages. Please continue to make those postcards. Please continue to join Tamara and come on out here to help us out, by the way, in person with your ground game. And thank you all so much for being the people who aren't just screaming and whining online, but the ones who are doing the work to win elections. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you again so much.
Oh my God. Delegate Rome, thank you so much, not for not just being crazy inspiring, but for being such an effective leader. We have needed you in the House of Delegates, and now we need you in the state Senate representing District 30. We will do everything we possibly can to help you get that seat. Thank you so much. It's such an honor. I want to thank our other partners, New Blue USA, who is phone banking into Virginia today. I also want to thank Democrats Abroad, who is doing, they're doing voter drives in Rome. So we're working to elect Danica Rome, and we're doing voter drives in Rome, the actual Rome. I know it's spelled differently, R-O-E-M, Danica. We're also super thrilled to partner with Sister District today. They are, in their own words, a grassroots organization that aims to build enduring progressive power in state legislatures across the country to improve people's lives and support Democrats by filling critical gaps at every point in the political life cycle. So now let's hear about their amazing work from their organizing and political director, Jarvis Houston.
Thank you so much. Again, my name is Jarvis Houston. I'm the organizing and political director at Sister District Project, an organization that works to elect Democratic candidates like the wonderful Danica Rome. I'm going behind Danica Rome. We're endorsing Danica Rome, but she's a wonderful candidate that gets it, that understands the value of a person and understands the value of people. So we're really excited to support Danica Rome. Why are we here? Today is just not about the national voter registration. It's about educating. I learned when I first started organizing people to vote as an organizer for People for the American Way. When I went all across the country with a sign, with a T-shirt that says "You have the right to vote," not only talking to people about educating them about voting, we registered to vote, and we made sure we educated them about something that's important, like provisional ballot. Meaning, even if you're turned away, you can complete a provisional ballot in X state. And that was 20 years ago. I just look a little young when I organized with People for the American Way. And when I look at National Voter Registration Day, I look at voting rights. I look at the year 1994, when millions of people stood in line to end and really end apartheid. Hundreds of thousands, millions of people stood in line for hours to vote for Nelson Mandela. I think of 1965, when the Voting Rights Act was passed. I think 1972, when the voting rights was expanded to give access to anyone, no matter if you speak Bengali or Spanish or any other language, everyone, if you're the only person that speaks this one language in your precinct, you should have language access to a voter ballot that has your language. Because this is what we stood for. This is democracy, and this is why everyone is on this call. We had a great soundtrack here for a little bit about Nina Simone. I feel good about the work that we did in 2020. I feel good about the work that we plan to do in 2024. I feel good about everyone that's on this call that understands the value of educating and registering people to get out to vote. In 2021 alone, this is 1 year, 2021, Republicans introduced 400 anti-voter bills in 48 states, 400 bills in 2021. We know what happened in 2013, unfortunately, when the Supreme Court in 2013 lifted back our access to voting rights. And we know what happened in years past with the Supreme Court. So again, it's so important that we put our resources into state ledge campaigns. Virginia, as Danica said, is so important. We have the opportunity to take the House back in Virginia and preserve the slim majority that we have in the Senate. In 2021, we lost the majority in the House. by drum roll, 733 votes. So again, we learned our lessons in 2021. In Sister District, we had our best year in 2022 when out of our 18 fully endorsed candidates, we won 18 out of 18 races. But that started with our fundraising support and more importantly, our phone bank and door knocking support. Melissa Serrato, for example, and some people that's on this call actually volunteered with our phone bank program. Melissa Serrato, for example, she won by 63 votes. We made 82% of her phone calls. We knocked on 2,500 doors. And for the first time since 2010, the Democrats control the House in the state of Pennsylvania by one representative, 63 votes. So again, everyone on this call, this is not a cliche. We are the impact. We are the difference. We have senior citizens in the state of Virginia decided between food and prescription drugs. We have kids that don't have broadband access to Wi-Fi, access to learn. And that's why we understand the value of understanding the people. As Pete Buttigieg said, your life should not be decided by your zip code. Everyone on this call, everyone in Virginia should have equal access to the best healthcare for all, equal access to the best education. And that starts with registering, educating people to vote, registering to vote, getting them out to vote for the right progressive candidates that understand us and having the right message at the right time, speaking to the right voter. And that's what we need to do in Democrats in the state of Virginia, in Ohio, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada, all in 2024, because we have to take the White House. And we also have so many important elections in 2024. And then we move to 25, 26, 27, and 28. And when we had the majority in Virginia, we expanded voting rights. We raised the minimum wage. We abolished the death penalty, and we allowed those local governments to remove those hateful Confederate statues. That was all in 2 short years. You see what the Democrats did in 2 short years? So again, this is about honoring not only the legacy of the Voting Rights Act, the legacy of our people fighting for hundreds and hundreds of years for the right to have access to vote. And still in 2023, today, in September, we still have to fight for our right to vote. We still have the right for a right to have your language on the ballot. We still have to fight for a right to do millions of things. And this is why we need to elect progressive candidates that understand us. And this is, again, is for us, by us. We have to go to Virginia. I'm going to post the link in the chat. Please, please, please volunteer for our national phone bank program. We're making calls all over the country for Dana Carone, Joshua Cole, Michael Fagans, Russet Perry, and so many other wonderful candidates that will help us take the House back and preserve the slim majority in the Senate. We won't stop. We can't stop. And I want to end with 2 quotes. The wonderful Nina Simone, because I feel good. Did you know that the human voice is the only pure instrument that it has no other instrument has? It's like being between the keys of a piano. And we're all working together like a symphony orchestra, all working to elect the best Democrats possible. And the great Harry Belafonte, movements don't die because the struggle doesn't die. And the struggle has not died, so the movement will continue and the revolution will not be televised. So thank you so much, SEAL Team 6. We're here with you in this war, and we're going to win this war because we have to. So thank you, everyone.
Oh, my God. Jarvis, you're amazing. I need to speak to you every morning, I think. I could run a marathon right now, or I could try. That's amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you, Sister District, for your partnership today and for all time. We're locked in now. We're putting a ring on it. Okay.
Okay. We got it. Put a ring on it.
Good. All right. So now that we've heard from our some of our amazing partner organizations, we've heard from Delegate Rome. We're gonna hear from some more leaders on the ground in 2 of our most crucial states this year, Ohio and Virginia. First, we're going to meet Travis Nembhard, who is running for District 22's open seat in the Virginia House of Delegates. We're super honored to have you here. He's a lawyer by trade. He will be a strong advocate for abortion rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and voting rights, as well as expanding access to healthcare. And I just have to ask you to consider this for your campaign slogan: work hard, play hard, NAM hard. Just think about it. All right, now please tell us about your exciting campaign. Thank you so much for being here.
I love it. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Thank you to I see Grassroots Dems with Tamara and Sister District Jarvis. Thank you to all of you guys here. We have sent out those postcards for Grassroots Dems and Sister District. Thank you guys for your support, and thank you all for being here today and for having me here to speak to you about the National Voter Registration Day. This is an honor for me. I'm new to this, a new candidate, former chief administrative law judge in DC, former financial regulator investigating white collar crime. I'm also a former assistant attorney general in the New York State Office of the Attorney General's office in Manhattan, investigating civil rights matters. And so for me, I jumped into this race because I saw that there wasn't going to be representation on the Democratic side in our seat. And 3 weeks before the filing deadline, I looked and I said, you know what? I have to do my part here and represent for the many people who need representation. And so without any plans prior to, thought about it, weighed it, talked to the family, and decided, you know what? Here we're gonna run. And here I am since announcing the seat was considered lean Republican, and now it's a toss-up, right? It's now flagged and raised by the DLCC as a spotlight race, and a lot can be achieved from having those conversations on the doors. In July, one of the hotter months, did 1,200 doors. I'm hoping to do 1,500 doors this month, and really trying to get our message out there. We finally surpassed in fundraising our opponent for the first time, who's been running since last year. And at the end of the day, when I think of the National Voter Registration Day, I think of an analogy I like to use. You all being here are at that proverbial table, right? The table where all of the decisions are being made about our families, about us, right? And at the end of the day, when you register, that's getting a seat at that table. But if you don't vote, then your voice isn't heard. You're sitting there quietly, right? And so at the end of the day, what we're doing here, there's a lot at stake, as Danica had mentioned, and what's being discussed at the table right now in Virginia is beyond the fact that we stand to potentially have the first Black Speaker of the House in the entire South, beyond the fact that we're facing a generational shift where for the first time in 160 years, over 160 years since the Civil War, we have the largest turnover happening in Virginia, with more than a third of incumbents moving out and new faces coming in. This is a generational shift that we haven't seen in any of our lifetime, not even my great-grandmother's lifetime, who passed away relatively recently at 105. She wasn't alive since the last time that this happened. The reality is that this is a big opportunity for us to make lasting change beyond just what is a normal election. And specific to topics, women's rights at issue. But Virginia is the last state in the South to not have adopted a draconian ban on women's rights, on control over women's bodies. And what's at stake is not just for Virginians, but for people in Arkansas, women in Mississippi, Alabama, the Carolinas, Georgia, West Virginia, Tennessee, the list goes on, right? And so at the end of the day, we are advocating and fighting for what is something that's going to impact millions of women across the South. Guns. Virginia is one of the top exporters of illegal guns. And unfortunately, states like, we often hear many Republicans saying that Chicago's a great example. Their strong gun laws don't do anything. Well, guess what? Illinois, more than 72% of the guns in Illinois found at crime scenes, according to ATF, traced outside of the state, right? When you drive to another state, you're not going to be stopped unless you're pulled over. It's extremely difficult. They don't have border patrol between states. And so, as one of the previous speakers said, we're only as strong as our weakest state, right? New York, even higher, 82% of guns that are found at crime scenes are found from outside of the state. When we take back the majority in Virginia and we pass stronger gun safety measures, that's going to have a huge ripple effect, taking one of the larger exporters out of the picture. right? And making us part of the solution and not the problem. When we talk about climate change, unfortunately, Governor Youngkin is talking about increasing fracking, increasing drilling, increasing pipelines, getting us out of RGGI, the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. He himself is thinking about running for office and hoping that what he does is turn Virginia into the new Florida, which allows him to get on the stage to run for the presidency. And we're going to stop him. We're going to stop him in the tracks, not only on the climate side of things, but also with his aspirations of running for the presidency, because he will be term limited out if he doesn't after this election cycle. Education, book bans. Charlotte's Web is on the list, right? I mean, at the end of the day, there's a myriad of other issues. Martin Luther King being intentionally left out of the curriculum, and LGBTQ issues. Virginia is one of the only 2 states in the entire country that has a ban on same-sex marriage in our Constitution. Not even Texas has that, right? And so if tomorrow Obergefell gets overturned, which the Supreme Court has suggested it may look at doing like it did with Roe, effective immediately, you have families that now lose custody over kids, who lose access to marital property and a myriad of other things just like that. Their marriage is invalidated. These are things that are going to affect people's lives and families in real ways. And Virginia is going to be the bellwether for 2024. And that's why I decided to run, because this is bigger than any comfort for me. And at the end of the day, this is why I'm inspired to talk to you guys, because you all get it. You all get it. You all are sitting at that table and showing support for something that is not directly linked to you, but absolutely has an impact on your lives and has a rippling effect. And so your voice matters. Many of you voted, I imagine, in 2016, but there were people who regretted not voting in 2016. And in 2017, I have something that beats even that statistic that I think Jarvis mentioned. In 2017, Virginia came down to the control in the General Assembly down to one vote, right? And at the end of the day, we have a lot of close races going on. And so it's important that we do this. And as we register more voters, we're bringing them to the table with us to have this conversation, because it's a powerful thing. And we know that. And so that's the beauty of our democracy. It's what we're fighting for to protect. And at the end of the day, I love it. I love joining you guys here to create a boisterous and resounding voice as we make it heard in November, as we stop hate and we promote love, tolerance, and compassion. So thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it. And let's win this year and beyond.
Hear, hear. I love it. Down to one vote. Every vote matters. That is for sure. Thank you, Travis. Thank you for being here. All right, switching states. Let's visit Ohio, where our next amazing speaker works. Dr. Mahajan is not only a leader of the rural Lorain County Dems, she is also part of the super effective Ohioans United for Reproductive Rights, or OURR. And as a neurologist, she is also part of Ohio Physicians for Reproductive Rights. Heroes like her are why we won in Ohio by 14 points in August. Please tell us about your work.
Thank you so much. It is like an absolute delight to be here with Field Team 6. I just want to talk a little bit about the journey that I've personally been on and how that has run in parallel with Field Team 6, as well as where we're at in Ohio. So not like every volunteer on the Zoom call, I have been the volunteer on a Zoom call. I, as a physician, have had a hard time being able to go door to door and help participate. I channeled a lot of the fear and, patriotic trauma from the Trump administration into what sort of activism I could do myself. So that ultimately led me to connect with our rural Lorain County Democrats. And as I became part of that group, I was able to take the lead on voter registration by postcard, which was only possible because of our connection with our partnership with Field Team 6. So in the 2022 year, when we had the leaked Dobbs decision and the hair on fire feeling that arose from that leaked decision, we doubled down and powered forward with partnering with Field Team 6, and we launched our phone bank and postcard banking, our voter outreach by postcard. Well, then Then came the absolutely catastrophic Dobbs decision. And so in the background, we still have our rural Dems working and reaching out to our local community and our Congressional District 5. And from a physician level, there was really just this amazing outcry that started spontaneously on Facebook. And what started everything was this initiative to write a letter and run that letter in major newspapers as an advertisement, as an open letter to our patients. This letter was the foundation for Ohio Physicians for Reproductive Rights. And our letter actually garnered attention from various political activists and various consulting groups that recognized the power that came about from that grassroots, groundswell from over 1,100 physicians signed that letter. So we were faced with the two parallel tracks of the midterm election coming up in 2022, which was really obviously a partisan issue that we needed to try to address. In Ohio, on the ballot in 2022, we had our governor, we had the Secretary of State, we had one of planet's worst people, the Attorney General David Yost, on the ballot, and we were facing enormously gerrymandered districts in the State House. This is the State House that had already imposed a 6-week ban that would be ready as a trigger ban that they had enacted in 2019. So we worked as hard as we could, within our own outreach, and ultimately working with Field Team 6, we were able to, of 1 out of every 11 points of contact that we had, actually yielded a vote. So just tremendously amazing results from what we were able to do with Field Team 6. And the red wave that was projected throughout the country just landed in Ohio. So we had an enormous red wave that led to supermajorities in the State House, and really a mandate to the very right-wing anti-abortion leaders, if you want to call them that, in Columbus. So what we were left with was the final opportunity here to put an amendment into our Ohio Constitution to protect reproductive rights. So in Ohio, we have this ability as citizens to put an initiative on the ballot, and we're not restricted by the election year. So we realized very quickly in that November, December timeframe, as the Ohio Physicians for Reproductive Rights, that we needed to move on this. The various consultants were really quite impactful in recognizing, 2023 would be wide open in terms of the only state with an ability to put abortion access into the Constitution. And they also felt there was a bipartisan opportunity here. And in particular, data from across the globe, as well as data from really contentious activities like mask wearing and vaccination. This information tells us that physicians as messengers is really among the most powerful opportunities we have. So the Ohio Physicians for Reproductive Rights moved forward and worked with the legal minds in the state who had great experience both in the healthcare field as well as with ballot initiatives to create the language for our amendment. And in doing that, able to move the ball forward down the field and bring in our foundational partners in the reproductive rights sphere that have been in this work for decades and helping, thousands and thousands of people in our state already. So this coalition was able to move forward, and in the process, we were able to really unmask how truly lawless and anti-democratic the powers that be in our government in Columbus are. And many of those involved in all the volunteers on this Zoom call and leaders on this Zoom call realized the importance of that August election that took place in Ohio. They were willing to strip the rights of even more voters in an effort to protect depriving people with uteruses, anyone who respects bodily autonomy, depriving us of those rights and intervening and even criminalizing medical care. So here we stand, having already reached over the hurdle of getting our amendment on the ballot. We were successful in collecting over 700,000 signatures from Ohio citizens in all 88 counties of the state. We did not have to thankfully reach a threshold of certain benchmarks, but we were able to nonetheless get representation from every single county. And so now we're on the ballot. The greater coalition here is called Ohioans United for Reproductive Rights. What we are conveying to voters is that voting yes on issue 1 enshrines in our Constitution the sanctity of decisions between an individual, their family, and their physician. Reproductive freedom is what is on the ballot here. And if we vote no on that opportunity, we're only going to see greater decay. So in any case, thank you so very much for having me here today. This is like so amazing and full circle for me. There are a few links that are going into the chat for the Ohioans United for Reproductive Rights. I think I saw a question about that website. That's OURR.WIN, WIN. And when you first go to that website, you'll see an incredible advertisement, the commercial that we put together, the first one, that really just brings home the basis for what's going on here.
Yes.
So Ohio is really a test case.
I'm just going to jump in here for a second, and thank you so much. We're putting in the chat all the links that you sent us. Ohioans United for Reproductive Rights, Ohio Physicians Reproductive Rights, the Instagram account, and the New York Times national map of abortion rights. That's really striking. And I just want to say you are amazing. We are at least as honored as you are, if not more, to be working with you. Seriously, thank you so much for being such an effective leader in Ohio. You're amazing. And we're here, Field Team 6 is here to support everything you do in Ohio, except, for the neurology. You're on your own with that. All right, our next speaker is our final candidate is Connor Morton, who is a candidate for city council in St. Bernard, Ohio, and is endorsed by Run for Something. Connor is running in a small community to bring everyone's voice to the table, and he's drawing on his experience in community research and analytics to inform his initiatives. When elected, he will be St. Bernard's first LGBTQIA+ council member and its youngest. So please welcome Connor Morton.
Yes, hello, everyone, and thanks, Jason, for that awesome introduction. It is so great to be here. I'm Connor Morton, and I am really, really looking forward to being elected alongside hundreds of progressive leaders around the nation in November. But first, I want to give a huge thank you to Field Team 6 and to Run for Something for connecting me to the just incredible energy around this National Voter Day, Voter Registration Day rally, or as Jason would put it, year rally. I strongly believe that it's our environment that shapes us. For those of us behind powerful issue and candidate campaigns, it's the volunteers who selflessly step up, that act as that hammer and cast that molds our character and our values. Right now, I'm thinking about some of the most influential people around me, my partner, my family, my friends. But today, I'd like to tell you about my sister specifically. Like volunteers do when they send postcards, knock on doors, and register voters, my sister inspired me to use my voice and leverage my vote. She made me feel seen and heard. You see, when I came out at 16, I was kicked out. One evening, almost a decade ago, my sister's 8th grade math homework was interrupted by our stepfather figure shouting that he would kill any queer person who walked through our front door. And I thought, oh, this is it. My stepfather figure just shrunk my soul when he threatened my life for being who I am. He took away my voice and I ran. And I ran out the front door just feeling so hopeless. But something changed when my sister met me at the end of our driveway that night, and she hugged me. She told me that I would be okay. And in that moment, she gave me my power back to stand up for myself and for others. I felt seen and heard again. I later was emancipated. I went to college at 16. I graduated with 3 degrees since then, and now I'm running for council in St. Bernard, Ohio, so that I can pass a non-discrimination ordinance to protect queer people in my community. All to the credit of a hug at the end of a driveway on Knorr Road. That's what we get to do as motivators, inspirers, and volunteers. We get to guide folks to use the power behind their voice because their vote is their voice. Now, around the nation, as many of us are already aware, corrupt Republican legislatures are manipulating districts and restricting voting rights to take our voices away. In Ohio, we even voted on maps that were deemed unconstitutional by the Ohio Supreme Court back in 2022. In my village, our low voter turnout has left us stuck with a council that does not represent our community's values. But because we've had incredible volunteers, I'm talking door knockers, letter writers, campaign callers, in 2022, we flipped my district blue by electing Congressman Greg Landsman, which was amazing. And we can and will do it again in November in my village and across the country, and again in 2024, and again every year after that, until we can ensure that our communities are seen and heard. Why? Because everywhere around the country, in every state, county, and municipality, there's someone who feels voiceless, just waiting for a knock at the door. Or for me, a hug at the end of the driveway to guide us back to our voice and our vote. Now, I want to challenge you all to do that today, to go and make that movement. So thank you so much for welcoming me here, and happy campaigning, happy voter registration. I'm told it's back to Jason again, and I'm starting to see a pattern. So thank you again. And I'm looking forward to a huge influx in voter registration today.
Oh, Connor, you're amazing. All right. Wow, that was that was my first cry of the day. Just trying not to full on sob. That's beautiful. What a beautiful, inspiring story, and amazing. You have to win. Yeah, we're all going to do everything we can to help, for sure. And I'm supposed to toss it to Dale, but I couldn't help myself. You're amazing. Just so good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you all so much to our partner organizations, including New Blue USA and Democrats Abroad. Find their links in the chat because we ran out of room for speaking slots. Sorry about that. We are running late.